listening to the Becoming More Me podcast with me, Teresa Lear Levine. You're already enough. But if you're anything like me, you thrive when you're stretching and developing yourself, creating more of the person you feel called to be. This podcast is here to inspire and support you. Let's release the negative, reinforce the positive, and elevate our vibe together as we tap into our limitless potential to transform and grow. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Becoming More Me. You are going to get to hear from some of my kids today. This is an idea that just sprouted over the last weekend as we were out and about, we were doing some shopping, running some errands together, and I said to the kids, I'm like, I need to record a podcast episode. What should I talk about this week? And my son Jace, who's sitting here, if you're watching the video, you can see him. He goes, should do it on pizza. And I was like, interesting. And then from there, it very quickly transpired into, ooh, maybe I could be on your podcast, Mom. And then it sounded like a good idea to multiple children of mine. So we're going to see how this goes today, because I know I talk about being a mom a lot. You've heard me tell stories about things that we've done with the kids, or things that the kids have done, or things that we're participating in, or what have you. But I've never had them on the show. So I thought it would be fun. We have if we want
to restart it, then we can do that, and then we won't have the whispering.
We have a new intro. This is perfect. So Jace has a special song to intro us in today. So welcome to
EFT with Teresa Levine and guests.
Woohoo! So without further ado, let's jump into this. This is my son, Jace. So I have 4 boys. My oldest is Jaden. He's 17. He's not here. So we're probably not going to get to hear from him. He is away right now. And then I have Jonah, who is 13, and Jace, who is 9, and Jordan, who is 6. So we'll see. I'm not pressuring anybody to be on here, but we'll see who feels inspired to be part of this episode. And then we'll take it from there. Welcome to the show, Jace. Thanks for being my guest today.
Hello, Mother.
So I do believe that you were the one who said that pizza would be a good topic for the show. And I started to question, how could we make pizza part of a show that is about becoming more of who you're meant to be and other things?
I wasn't really thinking about that, but I was thinking about how it kind of correlates with like the humans and like what they need and what they do.
How so?
So choose 1 or 2.
1.
So the first reason is kind of it correlates with them like physically and mentally. So you chose 1. So physically it goes with them because the top, that's like your actual features that is like on your face, like your eyes, your nose, your mouth, hair, all that.
Is that like toppings on the pizza?
Yeah, there's toppings.
Okay.
Oh no, not hair. And then the cheese is like the hair.
Nobody wants a hairy pizza.
The cheese is like the hair. Well, no one wants the eyes on their pizza. The cheese is like the hair.
Analogies.
Because the cheese, sometimes it's like perfect, it has like perfectly spread throughout there, or sometimes there's like little holes in it where you can see through the sauce. And it's kind of like hair because some days you have bad hair days. And then the other days like, I'm not even gonna brush my hair today. It's perfect. And then the sauce is kind of like your blood. Everyone's blood type is different. There's different types of sauce.
Yeah.
And then the crust is kind of like, actually, I don't know.
Is that your bones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like everyone's is kind of sort of the same.
It's the foundation.
It's kind of like everyone's is the same, except then there's like cheesy crust and normal crust.
There's so many different varieties.
Well, I only know of these 2, but the cheesy crust, that would be like if you had like a double jointed thing.
Yeah, but what about like
my pinky?
What about thin crust and garlic crust?
We don't talk about that.
Braided crust.
They're in jail right now.
So we started the show with a pizza analogy.
Pizza.
Oh my goodness. So what is it like to live in a home where Mom does this business?
I don't know. You're not really there most of the time.
What does that mean?
You
I'm here all the time.
You weren't there when I did a kickflip off of my bike.
When did this happen?
Yesterday.
No. I'm here for all the things. Sometimes I'm in my office, but I'm here for all the things.
True.
So yeah, it is true. Step forward so we can catch you on the mic. No, what's it like? What do you think? What do you think of EFT tapping?
I mean, it works.
Ooh.
I used it once. and it did
Yeah.
a thing.
But he's one of the, like my kids, I always say how they're kind of resistant. Like nobody wants to do what mom's doing.
I'm the
'cause
only one that ever did it. Correct?
That's not true.
It's me and Jaden. Me and Jaden, those are the only two.
I think Jordan does it with me the most.
Jordan did it once too, so that's 3 kids. You still
Jordan
got
does
Jonah.
it often.
Jonah is still asleep. Jonah is still asleep. What time is it? What time are we recording this at? What time is Jonah asleep?
It is
We're recording this at 10.
20 of 11 in the morning.
Yeah,
Jonah
we're
is
recording
still
this at
asleep.
10:40. He's still asleep.
Yep.
I think we have the door shut, so he can't really see.
Yep. Who knows?
He's probably asleep.
So
For the
you
most part.
you believe it works because you've tried it and you've experienced
I believe
it. That's pretty cool. What's it like growing up in a house with 4 brothers total?
Crazy.
Can you see why mommy needed EFT?
Yep. Yep.
Do you think that mommy shows up differently since she started regulating her nervous system?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
No, not in a negative way, but yeah.
Well, it's a positive way that I'm showing up now.
Now
Yeah.
that means that you were showing up in a negative way before.
There was more
That means that
there was
a
more
negative way.
chaos. There was less regulation.
Good point.
I had less calm. I had less inner peace, for sure. All of those things are true. I'm not ashamed of any of them. I didn't know any better.
Shame on you.
That doesn't feel very good.
Why don't you do some tapping on it?
I could. I definitely could. What would you like to talk about today, Jace?
I don't know, pizza.
More pizza? You got more to tell us about pizza?
Yeah. The second one, remember?
Oh, I forgot to ask about
Yeah.
number 2 with pizza.
So the second one is kind of your mental ability.
Mm.
So we already talked about the physical with and then we have the mental. So the mental is it's kind of like the topping. They're like the smaller things in life, and without them, it's kind of like just plain, just nothing. And then the cheese is the bigger things in life. Without it, it's just bread with sauce, which would be weird. Unless you're at a restaurant and it's like that sauce that you dip.
I don't know. Some pizza places serve tomato pie, which is pretty much that crust sauce. It's actually pretty good.
Dang.
As boring as it sounds. So if somebody has a lot of toppings, does that mean their life is like really complicated?
Probably.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't mean their life is complicated. That's just the little things in life. It could be like only 2 of those could be complicated, and the rest of them could be like, my wife's pregnant, I'm gonna have a kid soon, I already have 2 kids, they're gonna get a new brother. Like, those could all those things.
Could be good things.
Could be good things and bad things.
Okay.
And then the sauce it's kind of like your friends and stuff. Like, you keep it enclosed. It's in your, like, it's deep. It's one of the bigger things. It's like friends, family, pets, of those. And then the crust is more like, we said it was bones for the last one. But this one, it's just like, it's like your thoughts of, like, the bad things.
So a lot of times in my work, I talk about the 4 bodies. I talk about the mental. No, but
but
I talk
it's
about
like
the
the
mental,
bad
the
things.
physical, the emotional, and the spiritual.
Yeah,
Are
but
all
it's like
4 of those bodies represented in your pizza?
it could be. I don't have them for the other 2, but I have the physical and the mental.
There you go.
But the curse is like the bad things in life. Without it, it's just gonna be a really boring life. Everything would be perfect. But with it, then you got some challenges. Like, oh no, I broke my leg. How am I gonna go hiking today? Get a prosthetic leg. Oh no, those cost over $1,000. I don't have that much money. Get a job. It just gives you more and more challenges that go onto your toppings.
And ways to solve them. Yeah.
That's all I have to talk about today.
Okay, Chase. Well, thank you for being my guest. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
I
thank you,
love you. And I'm ready for the next brother.
Okay. I will get him.
All right, we're switching over, and now I have my son Jonah here to chat with us too. I feel pretty lucky to get to interview my boys for my podcast today. Jonah's 13, so he's in 7th grade. And what's on your mind today, dude? Jonah's obsessed with our little dog Mowgli, as you could tell that Jordan was too. Everything is talked about in terms of Mowgli around here. So
Mowgli's a good dog.
yeah, I had to explain to him that my audience has no idea about the Mowgli essence of our home
But
life.
he's such a
But
good
they
boy.
do now. He is such a good boy. He is.
I can do this.
Yes, and for those watching the video podcast, you can watch Jonah's eyes go crazy. He has this really crazy eye trick where he literally like, makes his eyes vibrate. It's creepy. What's on your mind today? What are the deep thoughts? What are your favorite ways to calm your mind?
Video games.
It's true, I suppose. I don't love it, but it's true,
But
and it's a you do you, I guess.
Okay, yeah, sure enough.
That's how you like to let off steam.
I'll start my own podcast about video games, because why not?
You could totally do that. I hope that this does inspire you when you see. Does it inspire you when you see mom getting to do like creative stuff as her business? To understand like possibility and just how much of it there is for you?
Meh.
Yeah. You're not super engaged right now, dude.
Meh.
But Jonah gets these really deep thoughts sometimes, and he really will come out with these things that it's like, wow.
Why do we drive on a parkway and park on a driveway?
That's not one of them. But there's his sense of humor. And he will crack me up at random all the time. He's just super witty.
Why is it called cargo on a ship and shipment in a car?
Jonah also has an endless supply of knock jokes.
Knock,
Except for when I ask him for knock
there.
jokes.
Why did the chicken cross the road? A man walks into a bar and says, ouch.
We do laugh a good bit around here when we're not, screaming at each other, right? What is it like to be one of 4 brothers?
There's an annoying one, which changes every day. Which one of them's the annoying one and which one of them's the good one. And then one of them's always just there. And the roles change every day.
You guys do switch roles. I will say, it feels like when I can just get 2 of you. Like the other day, I feel like when I left you and Jordan to do things together because Jace was on a play date and Jaden wasn't here, it was probably pretty delightful, right?
Yeah. So the way it works is mix me and Jordan and you're good. Mix Jaden and Jordan and you're good. Mix Jason and Jordan and you're good. But when you mix Jason with Jaden, all hell breaks loose.
I feel like the 3 combo can get a little bit wonky. Like if we put 3 of you together, and definitely if we put 4 of you together. Although sometimes you guys delightfully surprise me. I think Jaden was the only one missing last weekend when we were at the water park and doing stuff like that, and we had a good time. I actually really delighted in seeing the way that you and Jace were playing together, because sometimes you guys can be like at each other's throats, and you were like having a great time together and laughing and frolicking. I took a mental movie of it.
Oh.
Did you take any mental movies on at the water park?
No.
No.
Do
you ever take mind movies of things? Like, so you can just save them for later, like not actually take a picture or worry about having your phone or whatever else, but just take a mental picture?
Why would I want to do that?
Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Oh, Pakistan.
You're looking at the globe behind us? I like having the world at my fingertips. What would you like to talk about?
A lot of games can do like blood and creepiness and like just general disturbing imagery like that can be scary. But I mean that's fine. But I think the best horror games are the ones that don't do that. The ones that rely on the pure atmosphere, the creep factor. The ones that never directly show you the monster. And I think a good example.
I think that same can be said about most, genre, like books like that,
A good example-
or movies
a
like
good
that, or things
example-
like that. Not that I'm into any of that, but I can appreciate what it takes to create that vibe.
A game that tells you how to play the game from the start is not a good game. A good horror game is just a game on the simple platform Roblox called Doors.
And the way this game works is it gives you no tutorial, no nothing. The game doesn't tell you a single thing. So you're likely to die several times. But as you die and as you learn from your mistakes, you get better at the game. And you find out how to deal with the monsters and how to get better at the game. And then you actually feel happy as you play the game. Like at first you're scared, but if the game tells you everything at the start, there's no fun. There's no learning curve. But if it doesn't tell you anything and you learn as you go, then when you like beat a monster, you feel a sense of accomplishment. You figured that out. You didn't need anyone to tell you that. You're smart and you figured out how to escape from that monster.
I like that. Can you guess where I'm going to transpose that?
No clue.
That's life.
It is
That's
life.
life. But instead of the dying over and over again, it's failing forward in ways that don't kill you and finding ways to feel accomplished and satisfied and fulfilled through the failure and the process.
If I'm an architect designing a skyscraper and there's just a blueprint telling me exactly what to do, my job's no fun. But if I keep revising my own plan until it's borderline perfect, then I feel accomplishment. Then I feel success.
Which I find really interesting because you do not seem like somebody that enjoys struggling much. In fact, you tend to get frustrated pretty easily with a lot of things. And yet you really do appreciate the fulfillment there.
And that's another reason I like the game Doors. The game doesn't allow you to get frustrated. In fact, the game throws help at you. If the more times you play, the more in-game money you can make, and you can buy equipment to help you get through easier. So it's just a matter of, if you keep playing, eventually you'll get stuff and you'll be able to conquer it easier. And when you die in the game throws some vague hint at you. It's so what's a good example? I don't want to dive too deep into the game.
Yeah, let's keep it with references that middle-aged women can understand.
If I just have one example, there is a monster in the game called Rush. Rush rushes at you, and the way you defeat him is by hiding in a closet until he leaves, then you can sneak by. The first time you die to Rush, the game gives you a message saying not to get frustrated, because the game knows it's difficult. But it gives you a small hint. It says, pay attention for any cues that might hint at its arrival. The second time you die to Rush, the game gives you a message saying, pay attention to the lights. They are related to its arrival. And it gets more and more specific, until the third time you die to him, you get the message, when the lights flicker, you need to find a hiding space. So as you make more mistakes, the meaning, how to defeat it, and this can be taken for life too.
I'm transposing this one to intuition, gut instincts, and self-trust.
You have a very vague idea in life. You have a very vague idea for what you do first, and you will make a mistake, guaranteed. Then you'll learn not to make that mistake. Then you'll learn not to make the next mistake, and the next one, and the next one, until you've made every mistake possible, and there's no more mistakes to make.
Yeah. Mistakes are a crucial, imperative, important part of life. For sure.
The first time I played that game, I couldn't play for more than 5 minutes without getting killed. And now I could probably survive for days without dying.
So is there a way in your head that you could transfer the frustration tolerance that's been earned from playing video games into real life situations, like when your brothers bother you and like 2 seconds later you're frustrated?
At that point, they're the ones making mistakes. When it's their mistake, when they're the ones pestering me.
It's all them.
It's all them.
It's all them.
I've never made a mistake. I'm perfect.
But hold on.
In every regard.
Then how are you going to get anywhere when mistakes are an imperative part of making progress?
See,
if you're only willing to make them in the video game.
I'm just perfect. I was born. I was born like this. I am perfect. You are all inferior. I do not make mistakes like you common folk do.
I see, I see. Well, I appreciate that. Those were awesome parallels, and I appreciate
Anyway.
you coming on and sharing with me today and wanting to be part of this interesting little production that I have over here. Any parting words, Jonah? Oh, he's become silent again.
It will happen on December 26th, 2025. Be afraid. And with that, I'm out.
Take it from somebody who knows the scary stuff. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Thank you for listening to these two interviews with my sons, Jace and Jonah. If you're watching this on video, I know things have been jumping all over the place. There's multiple days that we've recorded, multiple outfits, and all sorts of other things happening. So unlike my other episodes, this is definitely not a one take kind of thing. But I do hope you've enjoyed it. And this is a part one. I have 4 boys. I didn't want to create like the world's longest episode trying to interview all of them. And I also didn't want to rush them to share whatever was on their heart and mind. So next week, you will be able to experience the interviews of my other 2 children, Jordan and Jaden, and that will round out my interviews with my 4 boys. And I would love to hear your feedback. You know, obviously, I'm their mom. I think this is fascinating and fun, and I have no idea how it's going to land with my audience who is not used to talking about kids stuff. So definitely share your feedback. I'd love to hear, you know, what you enjoyed or took away from it. I do find that my kids are my best teachers, and I learn from them every single day in ways I never expected. So maybe you did too. I hope you enjoyed. Either way, thank you so much for listening and have a fabulous day. Thanks so much for listening. If you loved this episode, please share it with a friend or post on social media and tag me so I can personally connect and thank you. Until next time, keep taking bold and brave action steps towards becoming more of who you want to be in this world. You are capable, you are worthy, and you are enough. Keep shining your light.